All right, so here we are, Pike County, Illinois, October 29th, 2021. We're going to give them an update on what's happening with the rut, what the deer are doing in Pike County.
Current status, this is as quick and as real time as we can get. We've been here hunting a week. We got here Sunday. It was too wet to hunt. We started hunting Monday morning, and it's way ahead of Iowa.
Yeah,
A week to 10 days ahead of Iowa, I would say.
from what we could see in Iowa and the weather conditions, which could change quickly. Though.
Yeah. Our cameras over here were tore up. We got up here, the scrapes were all open.
Everywhere.
The last week, which it was good in Iowa, they were on the scrapes then too, but all of our cameras last week, a lot of daylight activity. That has since slowed down the last 3 or 4 days for a couple of reasons. One, it's gotten warmer. It's rained for the last 2.5 days. It has been tough hunting. It's been tough to go. But we've also seen three bucks in the last 3 days locked down with does. 3 bucks, and this is something that we typically, you will not hardly see that. You'll see it occasionally in Iowa before the that 10th, 15th of November. But there's obviously does and estrus in here. Dave watched a buck breed a doe last night. Something you just don't see much, and I seen that buck locked down with that doe in that cornfield 2 days ago.
That's right. Yeah, and then we seen a mature buck this morning that was cruising, and he was following some does around. And then there was another buck that came in with a couple of does, 3 does actually, and he followed them in, and he went to eat, and they went on. But then yesterday afternoon, we saw that buck breed that doe. We saw several other bucks in that general area because she was in estrus.
Y'all see 12 bucks.
Yeah, we saw 12 bucks yesterday, and it was from a bite to some nice 8-pointers, but nothing really in range. We hadn't fired a shot yet, except at a coyote, basically.
We killed a couple does. Our lucky YouTube hunt giveaway winner, Chad and Randy, killed one 45 minutes into the hunt. His buck was out chasing some does. They kind of grunted. He came through this gap they were sitting in, and he smoked him at 18 yards. But I had a similar type morning yesterday morning. I had a hot doe. I had a doe that was stopping. She was urinating. It was one of those situations where there was a lot of bucks in there, so my thought was, she was in. She didn't have a big enough buck on her right there to be locked down.
It's all about being at the right place at the right time.
With a hot doe. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't see nothing this morning. I seen one doe. I seen one doe. You've seen a lot of deer. The other 2 guys didn't see. One guy seen 2 does. The other guy didn't see anything. This morning was terrible. But yesterday was very similar conditions. But everybody's seen a lot of deer yesterday morning.
Yep.
Yesterday evening was
good for
me.
me.
It was good for you. That's right. Yeah.
And the whole thing about that buck that had that doe, he wasn't letting her out of the sight. He was right there. Probably didn't move 200 yards off, 3 hours. So when they got those does and they got them off to the side, you're not going to see them moving at all. And, you just be in the right place, right time.
I checked a couple bod cams in the field on the way out this morning because I passed a couple scrapes that were open. There was mature deer still checking scrapes. We haven't seen a lot of mature deer checking scrapes this week. We've seen a lot of young deer checking scrapes. Yeah. You did the oldest one was that 6 or 7 year old you seen 2 or 3 days ago. That you passed. Yeah. He's a good deer, but he's hoping he comes back by. But no, so we're not seeing a whole lot of daylight activity of bucks checking scrapes. A little bit of night activity. Not the deer checking scrapes like they were a week ago. It's just the cameras do not show that. If you see a big mature buck right now, he's either with a doe or he's not far from one. And chasing, little bucks chasing. We haven't seen any decent bucks chasing, so I feel like we kind of missed the big deer going from checking scrapes to being locked down with does. So it's a little different strategy. We get a lot of messages. Hey guys, what are they doing in Illinois? What are they doing in Pike County? There's a ton of people that hunts Illinois. It's an awesome state. The whole state's pretty much good, but it's one of those things where it's going to be different in every little area. But as far as our area,
that's key right there. What you just said, it could be different from this farm to another farm, depending on the age structure of the deer.
Just like your area was on fire.
I saw a mature buck
few hundred yards away.
Yeah. And y'all didn't. Y'all hadn't seen one in a couple of days. So.
And what was that buck doing this morning? He was chasing.
Well, actually, no. He come around and cruising, and then he seen these 2 does, a doe and a fawn, and he went down in the woods after them. The doe and fawn come out, and then he come back out with them, and they went off into the sunset somewhere.
So as more and more of these does start coming into estrus, the does are kind of on high alert. We're not. Most of the plots are not having a multitude of does come out and feed in them. They're pretty scared right now. The little bucks, no doe is safe.
I think that kind of wraps it up. There's a couple of those feeding last night that I saw when the bucks in there with them after they come in there and check them, and they're not in estrus. They just move on. So
I'd like to say the last 2 days we've been concentrating on bedding areas or funnels and stuff like that. We've actually just been hunting box blinds so we don't stay drenched, because not only is it pouring, it's impossible to film and keep cameras dry and stuff like this. But tonight, the barometer is rising all day today, and tonight I think we'll be good despite the rain. They got to eat. They haven't moved much in the last 2 or 3 days. Overall, they did for you last night. So what I would do, if you were coming in here to hunt the next week or so, what would you be concentrating on?
Well, like you said, if it wasn't raining, I'd probably be concentrating more on the funnels and the bedding areas and try to slip in there quietly and get as close as you can if you got some areas you can hunt that. If it's raining, I mean, you got to hunt where you can hunt the box blinds or whatever. So if you got camera equipment like we do. Yeah. If you don't have camera equipment,
Put on the rain suit and go. Yeah, well, it makes us at a little disadvantage. But concentrate on where the does are going to be, whether it's not far off of their bedding or, in some food where. Because my thought is, a lot of people say, when bucks are locked down, like some of them are here, oh, it's dead, we're not going to kill nothing. That doe is still going to eat sometime within those 2 or 3 days.
And the weather's going to be good next week. It looks like it's going to be a little better than it was this week.
So if you're coming to the Midwest in the next few days or the next week or so, looking at the forecast, you're going to be dead on it. So good luck to you guys. Stay safe. Remember to stay harnessed up. We don't have ours on. We just got in. We took them off. But y'all be good and good luck.
Good luck.